Hello folks, here we are doing a watercolour portrait. Now at the moment I'm putting on a yellow ochre wash and I'll cover the whole of the face, part of the eyes and the neck with this wash. The yellow wash serves as, well for me it does, as an underpainting. And I might leave some segments of that painting coming through so it gives a nice glow. Not being too frightened to put on a bit of colour. Using a large brush, keeping everything fairly loose, and by using a large brush it stops one from being too fussy and getting caught up and bound up, so it does free you up a little bit. Well, actually, it frees you up quite a lot. So going into the hair, even with that colour, So here we are back again, and you can see it's dried off quite a lot. Colours are much more subdued. Now I'm really going in with the burnt sienna here, emphasising that dark shadow. Want to create quite a bit of contrast, and still bear in mind that's going to fade back too. Just deciding on the features there. Testing that colour. Okay, we'll continue on with this. And we'll keep working the neck there and the ears. Just basically getting rid of the whites of the eyes there. Coming back into the hair. Now going quite dark. Touch of burnt umber and ultramarine blue there, with a little bit of, it's either neutral tint or Payne's grey. I generally don't use Payne's grey. Still coming back into the darks there. Just suggesting the bottom half there of the clothing, a few of the shadows and folds. few more darks. I must apologise here that I zoomed it in a little bit because there was too much going on in the studio where we were doing the portrait, and I had to zoom it in a bit because it was too much of a distraction, so you don't get to see the bottom half. There's a little bit missing, but I guess you'll get the general idea. There were too many heads bobbing around in the background. Now coming back in with the dark hair, just suggesting the hair. A few more darks there. Alright, making sure I cut around near the ears to define the ear. Also to use light against dark. A bit more water there, free it all up a little bit. A bit more water, let it run. Not a bad idea to dab a little bit back sometimes, just to knock it back. Might be running too much. You don't want it to be too watery. Depends what the effect is that you're going for. Personally, I like it to be nice and loose. Now I'm looking at the eyebrows. Is it damp? Yes. A little bit. That will run, but never mind. We'll come back into that. Just getting the eyes. The eye on the left is not quite right. It's a little bit Egyptian looking, a little bit flat, but I'll fix that up towards the end. Of course, you can use your fingers, you can use the back of your brush on your painting. You can splatter, which of course is flicking the paint. Okay, just suggesting the lips here. They're probably not as red as this, but bear in mind, as I said, this fades back, and we want plenty of warmth. We want them to look alive. Mixing a few more colours here. Just putting in the ears. Again, I'm not going for fine detail. I'm just putting in the major marks. Suggestions. Hopefully your imagination does the rest. Putting in the shadows there. Plenty of warmth underneath the eyebrow there. Now coming back into the eye with a bit more definition. And using a little bit of water to wipe out a bit as well. Generally speaking, I don't come in with a small brush until the end, so this indicates that things are starting to come together. Coming to the final stages now. Just coming back in to re-identify the eyes. Now for that dark, I've used green and alizarin crimson and burnt umber, so it gets you quite a strong dark. Bit of red there underneath the eyes, really playing up that warmth. Now just going through fine details. Even for fine details, I'm not using a rigger brush, which is the very thin brush. I'm just using the tip of this brush, which is a